Right, that is badly ripped. You can see there, it's a goner. Always have a couple of old tires handy. This one is slightly smaller, but I don't have the exact size on hand, but this will get me out of a trail in a pinch. There's always things that needs to be fixed on the Jeep, so before we drive out we check the vital fluids and look at some of the essential repairs that needs to be done. We did a quick bit of work, things that needed to be fixed. There are more things that needs to be fixed, but we'll get around to them at a later stage. So we're not really moving at the kind of pace that Milo would have liked to go, and it looks like he's sulking here and just keeping behind us instead of his normal rushing up ahead. Now this is part of A Trail, the first trail that we made. A Trail was made initially to have access to an area of the farm that we didn't have access to, and we couldn't quite reach the boundaries to do an inspection, and this is in an attempt to actually reach that boundary. This addition or access bit to the next trail will actually open up a large area for us where we can explore a bit more of the farm. This bit is a bit rough, and you need the kind of vehicle that you're not scared to do this kind of thing on. We're on the same trail that you saw in the last video, Anton and myself and Milo. And the last video was a really mad dash in just to, get some stress from work relieved and to see whether it was possible to drive over this stuff without actually making a trail. And it quickly became very obvious that no, it's not possible. I lost a tire in the process. I got an old spare, as you would have seen. Now we want to clear out the next part of the trail. So we remove the windscreen because it's a bit loose and it jiggles a bit too much for my liking, but it also makes it much easier to launch the drone without it. Right, so what's going to happen now is we're going to explore and see where exactly we make the trail. We move some rocks and see if we can get through. The thing with this trail is that it's an access route, not actually a trail. The trail is in front there, and this is to get access to the trail, specifically to have an escape route also on the trail. But all of these trails started being access route, and since it was 4x4 we decided to make it 4x4 trails. What we're going to do now is going to lay out the trail. This is where we're going to do the first work, so we're going to leave the tools here and we're going to walk out, lay out the trail, decide where it's going to go, and I want the drone to follow us so that I can show the drone overlay. You can see what it's like. This is where we're going to make the trail. Now, a lot of it is fairly open. You don't have to do anything here. You just follow the open area, but then you get an area like this. You can drive around this rock.
But here you have to roll away a couple of loose rocks to get through. But anyway, let's mark out the trail. Now this is where we previously marked the trail. This is where it's going to go, and we're basically in the riverbed where we want to be. Okay. Hierso. Hierdie is gaan met op rondom of ons op skuif of rondom hom. Dat beteken ons van daai ding uithaal. Ja. Hierdie groter klippe moet ook skuif. Right, so what we're doing here is we're just moving the loose rocks until we have a wide enough gap for a vehicle. Alright, so we finished the hard work of this part. Now we're going to drive through it. We removed the sharp rocks and the obstacles that would stop us. Now we're going to go into testing the trail. And different from one of the previous videos is that we're not doing this as the sun is setting, so we have time to do a recovery should it be needed. Leer sulke goed vanaf as jy die eerste keer deurry. En of je makkelijk gaat deurkomen. Als je actually met de voertuig daar komt, dan zie je, maar je maakt het net niet.
making a trail like this, it always looks wide enough, and then I make it more wide because I've learned once you try and drive through, then you find that it's not wide enough. And we're in the river. That was the objective for today. I've never driven this. I've been through here with a motorbike, but you never look at the trail on a motorbike in the same way that you look when you're on a vehicle. But I think we can make it through to the amphitheater. Even die drone is nog vol. Daar. Kyk vir leopard. Those are leopard tracks. You know there's a leopard in this area, a big male. Oh, the drone is up. Yeah. Okay, so the drone is keeping up. This might be a dilemma. Okay. We'll have to take a look and see whether we can do this. It's possible to go there, but that needs some work. Drop is te groot. So I think what I remember what I was going to do is make a path down there. It's not ready to do now, and I don't think we have the time to do it now, but we're gonna try. I'm just gonna pull the Jeep up there and show what it looks like so that we can start planning on what's gonna be, what is the job gonna be. Meter. Het probleem is dat de rechtaf drop. Het is trap af en dan de rechtaf drop. Nou, het rechtaf drop zullen we mensen opvullen. The problem is the drop right in front of us. We can probably climb down, but we won't be able to get up. But if you take that step in front of the right wheel, if you fill that in with rocks, we'll be able to drive down. Oh, het los hom. As ons eind weg is, sal hy sien. Ons loop en dan sal hy kom. Milo is slightly reluctant to join us, but he'll join us once he sees we're far enough. Right, this is the amphitheater. This is where I want to reach, and this is where I want to make a pass to bypass the amphitheater. Yes, see. This is what I call the amphitheater. It will be quite a formidable obstacle for a vehicle, and it will require me to do some work, move some rocks, before you could even consider making an attempt at a climb. Now, although this is a very serious obstacle, it's by far not the only obstacle in this trail. Looking further down the riverbed, you will see a lot of boulders that needs to be climbed, and in itself a pretty good challenge. It is not only the adventure though that draws me to this area. The scenery is spectacular. The amphitheater obstacle itself starts with a very steep climb up a very slippery slope. Not as steep as Moon Rock on H-Trail, but steep enough. Then you have to cross this gully. We might put 1 or 2 rocks for the wheels to cross over in. That takes you up to this level area where you need to turn right to align yourself for the climb up. There's a couple of loose rocks that I will need to move in this area. Mainly the rocks in the screen now, but I would just make a path through them, and then this slight climb up, clearing just the loose rocks away, making sure it's wide enough for a vehicle. Once you've climbed up to the top here, a quick climb onto the left, and that reveals a nice, even, smooth path down back to the riverbed. There's more work on the trail than what I remember, and that always happens, so I'm not surprised by it. I tend to just forget about some of the obstacles that needs to be tackled, but I think it's doable. As you have seen, it's the amphitheater is quite a formidable obstacle, and it will take a bit of work on that bypass to do it, and then it will take quite a vehicle and a driver to be able to do it. It's not going to be an easy one, but we'll have to just see about that, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.